Greetings everybody, my name is Travis Guse. I'm the Mission Engagement Facilitator for the SAD Central Region, and it is a joy and privilege to be able to bring this iGo vlog to you once again, to empower you to connect with your neighbors in love and service in order to connect people to Jesus. Well, today we are continuing a three-part series on this call to be everyday missionaries that all of us have as followers of Jesus. Last week we took a look at the call from 1 Peter, in which we heard that we are the priesthood of all believers, and we're called to declare the excellencies of Him who called us out of darkness into His marvelous light. Well, today we hear from Matthew 28:16 through 20, this call of the Great Commission, or what I like to call the Great Commission. We'll talk a little bit more about what I mean by that in a second. But in this passage, Jesus is about to ascend on high, and He gives His last marching orders to His followers, to the church. And He says, "Go and make disciples of all nations, by baptizing and by teaching all that I've commanded you." And He says, "Lo, I am with you always to the very end of the age." You know, the imperative word that we hear in this Great Commission is the word go. It's hard to go when we're sitting in our pews, or when we're sitting on our couches, or when we're so busy with everyday life. But Jesus tells us that we as His followers are to go. We are to go and make disciples. And we're supposed to do that of all nations, of people of all different tongues and races and cultural backgrounds, because God loves all the world. But here's the good news with this idea of go. It doesn't have to be like we have to go do something special, like it's a programmatic approach. But there's the idea that not only do we hear an imperative that we are to go and make disciples, but it's the idea that as we are going about our life, as we are living our vocations, as we are loving and serving our neighbors within our different areas of responsibility in life, and in family, and yes, the church, and in the workplace, and just being a good neighbor in our community, that there's this idea that this is just a part of life, that as we are loving and serving our neighbors, that in the midst we also are seeking to share the good news of Jesus, of who He is and what He is about, and connecting them to word and sacrament, the places where Jesus promises to be with His life, His salvation, and His love. And here's the great news. We don't have to do this alone. This is why I like to call this not the Great Commission, but the Great Commission, because ultimately, whose mission is it? It's Jesus' mission. Jesus is on a mission to seek and to save what was lost. That's what He came to do those 2,000 years ago by His life, His death, and His resurrection. And now Jesus continues that mission today through us. In our callings and vocations, Jesus also lives out that mission as well. And here's the wonderful thing is we don't go alone in this. That's what the great passage that He says, "I am with you always, even to the end of the age." And so you don't have to be frightened. You don't have to be afraid. Jesus is with you. He will go each step of the way. He will empower you. He will give you the words to say. He will create the opportunities. If we would just look, if we would just pray, and we would just listen to Him and be obedient to that calling that He gives to us as His followers, that we would trust that all authority has been given to Him. And if it's His desire, He will make a way for it to happen. Well, I hope this is a blessing to you, and maybe kind of brings down the anxiety level just a little bit as we think about joining Jesus on His mission in this great commission that He's given to us. Know that Jesus is with you, and I pray that He would bless you and give you not only open doors, but the words to say when you have a chance to share the goodness of Him and His love and all that He has accomplished. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk with you and seek ways to further resource and empower you for that mission that He is calling to in your everyday life. God's richest blessings, and we'll catch you next time.